Hi Stampers, this is Sally Poole, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Thanks for stopping by today. In my last video, we made this fun fold accordion style card. And I had this other card as an example, and we'll be making it today. We're using the Brightest Beauty stamp set and the Golden Beauty dies. They are in the July through December 2022 mini catalog, which just came out. Also, this celebration catalog started on July 1st and it runs through the end of August. You can buy this bundle and get 10% off the price when you bundle. And then also for each $50 or $100 you spend, you get to choose free items from the celebration catalog. Let's get started. So for the card base, I'm going to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 crushed curry cardstock and cut it at 4 1/4. And then I'll score it at 5 1/2 inches. And then we'll fold it, give it a good crease, and it'll be ready to be our card base. I'll give you the card measurements as we go along, or card stock measurements as we go along, but you can also find the instructions and measurements for this card in the link below. Here are the rest of the pieces we'll be using today. I have a piece of basic black cardstock cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. A piece of basic white cardstock cut at 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. I also have a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside of the card. It is cut at 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8. You'll need a piece of scrap paper for your sentiment and a piece of paper to stamp your image on. So let's stamp the background for the embossed panel. I'm going to be stamping in crumb cake. And I'm just going to use this stamp from the Brightest Beauty stamp set. It's a background stamp. They look like little triangles. So we'll just stamp a couple on this piece of cardstock. Any random, wherever you want, doesn't matter. Close up our ink pad. And then we're going to emboss this with the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. It's kind of a vintage look pattern. I really like it. I'm going to use my Big Shot. A lot of people have trouble running these 3D folders through their old Big Shots, but I find that if I just have the regular platform, my folder and paper, and then a plate on the top, it works fine. Okay, so there's our embossed panel. So next, let's stamp our image. For that, I'm going to use the Stamparatus. We just need a piece of basic white cardstock. I do have my foam pad in here because these are photopolymer stamps. I'm going to stamp the leaf image first in Garden Green. Give it a good press. Next, I'll stamp the little flower images in crushed curry. I've already lined it up with this image. I'll give that a press. Looks like we missed a little there. I might have to add a little more ink. Nope, that's just fine. Okay, so there's our image, and we'll set all this aside. Close up our ink pad. And next, we will cut our image out. Here's the die that matches from the Golden Beauty die set. Line it up as good as we can. Bring our big shot back in. All right, and there we've got our image. So in the previous video, I went through the process of adding some dazzling diamonds to the little yellow flowers. I'll do a little bit of it here today, but I don't want to spend the entire time doing this, so you can go back and look at that other video if you want. That glue isn't working. Here's a good one. So I'm just adding a little bit of this quickie glue. You can get this on Amazon. I'm not coloring in the whole yellow section. I'm just doing little circles. And then I'm going to add some of my dazzling diamonds. Flick it off. And there we have a really nice look on our flowers. Dazzling diamonds are retired. Stampin' Up! Had it years and years and years ago, and then it retired. They brought it back 2 years ago, I think, and then retired it again. So if you don't have any, you could use Wink of Stella or glitter. So let's put our card together. I'm going to take my embossed panel and I'm going to use a tape runner on it. You could sure use liquid glue if that's what you prefer. Normally I put tape just around the edges, but on embossed things I add a little bit more to make sure that it stays on the panel. So we'll put this down on our basic black panel. Put some more tape on the back of it. And we'll adhere that to our card base. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of the flower. Peel all these little covers off. July 4th is tomorrow, and in my little neighborhood, people always get started on it, gosh, a good week ahead of time, setting off fireworks that they're probably not supposed to have. So that's been going on all day today already. So let's adhere our image to the front of our card. Next, we're going to make a messy bow. So let's cut a little piece of linen thread that we're going to tie it with. Then you want to wrap the linen thread around your fingers 3 or 4 times, depending on how messy you want it. And then a couple times around these 2 fingers. Cut your linen thread. Grab it at the top. And then you want to take all of these loops and squish them together and give it a little twist. And then I've got these crossing lock tweezers I'm going to hold it in place with while I tie it. You can find these on Amazon too. I would assume that they are available in crafting stores. I don't know that I've ever seen them there. All right. So you want to make sure that this piece that you tied is pretty much in the center. You can slide it around if it's not. Then I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to put this on my card. Get one of my little stamp blocks, and I'll set that aside to dry. Now let's stamp our sentiment. I'm going to use the So Proud of You stamp again. It's from the same stamp set, Brightest Beauty. And I'm just using black Memento ink. Okay, there's a good image. Close that up. So I'm going to be cutting the sentiment with this smallest banner die from the 2 larger ones from the Stylish Shapes dies set. So we'll take our sentiment, Add a little piece of tape if I can find one. There we go. So I'm going to line this up to the left side. And you can see that it's way longer than I need. So I'm going to run it through my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Plate 1, plate 2, paper and die. And I'm not going to run it all the way through. Going to back it out. So now I'm going to place this so I have the appropriate space at the far end of it now. And you can feel when this die slides into the grooves that you've already cut. So we'll just run it through again, partially, but not all of the way. And there we have our sentiment, cut out from a much longer die. So now let's attach that to our card. I'm going to use liquid glue on this one since I am attaching it to an embossed layer. You could also use dimensionals for the sentiment too and pop it up. Just going to lay it on there at the top of the card. Give my little tails on my linen thread some snips. And there we have our card. I hope you like it. I hope all of you have a happy 4th of July holiday and you stay safe. Bye for now.